All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start reading. So we're going to go ahead and do our vowels. Remember, you don't have to unmute yourself, but you can repeat after me after I say them, okay? All right, so our vowels. A, E, I. Oops, I'm fast. O, and U. All right, so this is our next one. These are our high frequency words, and they are new, and we have new spelling words. But we are not taking a spelling test this week. We're taking another story quiz. But we want to go ahead and make sure, Maddox, that we are paying attention. Okay. All right, here's the next one.
Handle, mute yourself.
All right, let's see. All right, here's anything, change, children, gone, notice, now, page, since, woman. All right, so that was really short for our high frequency words. And now we're going to go ahead and do our spelling words for this week. Caught, face, goal, gym, nice, page, plug, crash, gone, brag. Good job. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting this, and we're going to go ahead and do our sounds. And so Miss Fullington is going to go ahead and do the prefix dis. So remember last week we talked about that because it was part of our module 5. And so now we're in module 6, but we're also going to continue with the prefix dis. And so prefix dis means not. So repeat after me. Prefix dis means not. So it says here, I'm going to say a word and you say the syllables and hold up a finger to count each one. So you remember how Miss Fullington claps sometimes? Now you're going to do your fingers. You're going to show me your fingers of how many syllables are in this word. You ready? All right, so excuse me. It says, I'll do the first one. It says disagree. So we're going to count that out. Disagree.
I can't see the screen.
My screen? Are you talking about Mrs. Fullington's screen?
Yes.
Okay. So does anybody else have that problem? No. Okay, so Maddox, what you might want to do is log off and log back on. If it's still giving you some issues, sweetie, you might want to go ahead and sit with a neighbor. Okay. All right. That was disagree. So how many fingers? Again, let's show us. Disagree. Disagree. So how many fingers? Good job. All right.
I still can't see the screen.
I think I was frozen, Maddox. That's probably what it was. All right. Yes, there are 3. So now it's your turn. Are you ready? All right. So the next word is count. How many syllables are in count? Show me with your fingers. Count. So let's do it together. Ready? Count. How many fingers? There's only one. One syllable in the word count. Okay. All right. Let's do discount. You ready? Discount. How many syllables should we have? 2. Good job. All right. Here's the next one. A symbol. Let's see. Without Mrs. Fullington's help, how many do I have? Let's see. I see 3. What else? 3. All right, let's count out. Double check. Assemble. How many? There are 3. Good job. All right, if clapping helps you and then you can show your number, go ahead and do that. All right, here's the next one. Taste. There is 1. Good job, guys. All right, here's the next one. Tasteful. 2. Good job. All right, here's the next one. Distasteful. 3. Good job, guys. Y'all are on a roll today. All right. So remember, a prefix is a syllable added to the beginning of the word, right? A prefix. So it says here, the prefix re, if we put prefix re again in replay, what does replay mean? Mackenzie, what does replay mean?
You play it again.
You play it again. Good job. So re means again, right? Remember that same motions, re means again, over and over and over. I think about whenever we're on a hill and you're rolling down the hill, you are rolling, rolling, rolling. It continues, right? The prefix un adds the meaning what? What does un mean? If I'm unhappy, what does that mean? Clinton, what does unhappy mean?
You're not happy.
You're not happy. Good job. So un means not, right? That means the opposite of happy. Good job. All right. So it says the prefix dis. So the prefix dis also adds the meaning not, right? So the opposite to the word. So when Miss Fullington says dislike, what does that word mean? Dislike. Harlow? What does dislike mean?
Dislike something?
So what does that mean? Remember what this dis, the prefix dis mean? If you were trying to help someone understand that word, what does that mean? Dislike. If I dislike pizza, I what?
Don't like it.
I don't like pizza, right? So not like, right? So dis means not. All right, good job. So it says here, I like most vegetables, but I dislike lima beans. Yuck. So dislike means not like lima beans. Good job. All right. So we're going to keep moving. So we are learning. So we had some new spelling words, right? And so, Clinton, did you have a question, sweetie, before we start again? Would you have a question, Clinton?
Hello told Larry to go get some Lego tape.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you, sweetie.
Hello told Larry to go get some Lego tape.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so with this, we are doing spelling words, right? So our spelling words are sounds with the C and the G, right? So C and G, the K sound and the G sound, right? So we're going to listen to a few of the sounds that we're going to hear in our spelling words over the week when we save them, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and present the sounds and we're going to listen to them. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see the kitty cat or the cat on the screen. All right, awesome. All right, so the cat right here. So we're going to listen to what the lady is talking about whenever you hear the K sound, okay?
Cat. Cat starts with the sound K. Listen. K. Cat. The letter C can stand for the K sound when it is followed by the vowel A, O, or U. Together, let's say the sound and then name this letter that stands for it. K. C. K. C. What is the first sound in cat? K. What is the first spelling you see for k? C. Now look at the other ways to spell k. The letter K can stand for k. At the end of a word or syllable with a short vowel, the letters CK together can stand for k.
All right, so that was the letter C. And the many ways that you can spell it with the k sound, right? We have the C, so you can use it at the beginning, like cat. Then you can use the CK, like duck, at the very end, the CK. And then you also have the k sound, like as in cake. Make sure that you are muted. There we go. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go to our next sound, and it is G. So let's go ahead and skip down to G. All right, so we're going to go ahead and listen to this sound.
Goat. Goat starts with the sound G. Listen. G. Goat. The letter G can stand for the G sound. Together, let's say the sound and then name this letter that stands for it. G. 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 What is the first sound in goat? G. What is the first spelling you see for G? G. Now look at the next spelling. At the end of a word or syllable with a short vowel, the letters GG together can stand for G.
All right, so just like this example, you have G where you can add it to the beginning, like our spelling word gone, right? And then you have GG where you can do at the end of the word, and just like the word egg, where it has two G's. Good job. All right, so we are going to go ahead and go to the next thing. And we have new power words. So what does that mean? What does it mean if we have new power words? Someone should know that one. What does it mean if we have new power words?
New story.
New story. Good job. So yes, we have a new story. And we are doing a read-along. We're going to listen. Right? We're going to listen to the power words. So I'm going to go ahead and give you those power words. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see our first power word. It's visible. Everybody have it? Awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do visible. So everybody say visible. So visible is something that is visible, can be seen. So it says here in this picture, it is an adjective, and it says Emily's feet are visible through the clear water. It's something that you can see through, right? All right, the next one, everybody say particles. This is really pretty. Particles. So particles is a noun. Particles are tiny pieces of something. So it says snowflakes are tiny particles of ice. Tiny particles of ice. So you can actually see the little particles of how it forms a snowflake. It's really cool. All right, here's the next one. Everybody say depends. Depends is a verb. And if one thing depends on another, the first thing that can be changed by the second thing. So it says a flower depends on a bee, on bees to pollinate it. So remember, flowers cannot pollinate themselves, which means they cannot spread their seed around, right? so that other flowers can grow. That's the job for the bee. So when the bee gets the honey or the nectar from the flower, it collects the pollen on its body. And then when it goes to another flower, it allows that other flower to kind of pass on its genes and it makes a new flower. It's really pretty how they do that. All right, here's the next one. Everybody say hovers. So hovers, as you can tell, there's a helicopter. Hovers is a verb. So something that hovers stays in place. So this is the helicopter hovers over the ocean. So it can fly over the ocean and give people a chance to actually see the location. So it stays in one place for a little bit while it rides in, or it flies in the sky. So everybody say develop. So in this picture, it's really cool. It shows you the phases of how a tadpole forms into a frog, but you can tell that this frog is not fully formed yet because it still has the tadpole tail. So this is develop, and develop is a verb. When something starts to develop, it grows and changes. So it says in science class, we watched tadpoles develop into frogs. That's really cool. So tadpoles are like fish. So they're born in the water and then they hatch and then they start growing. And then these tadpoles grow into frogs and they can live in water and on land at the same time. Pretty cool. All right, here's our last one. And our last one is joined. Everybody say joined. So joined is a verb. Things that are joined are connected. So we joined hands to form a circle. Sometimes you do this in gym. And we can't do it today because of safety reasons, but we usually can form a perfect circle, right? You can still form a circle by almost connecting your fingers, right? Or leaving some spaces in between y'all. And you do that with your arms and your hands a lot. Connected. So that's joined. Joined means connected. All right. So with these power words, you're going to find them in our story today. And so I'm going to share actually not our story yet, but our poster. And so our poster is content area words. So those are basically words that are going to help you understand the story. So remember how we talked about text features?
I can't see you.
Okay, Maddox, something that we can do is log off and log back on. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And so with that, content area words are going to help you understand the story because sometimes we may not understand the vocabulary that we are learning. And there's probably some words that we've never heard before. And so as you know, our unit is about weather, right? And we're going to learn about snow. So this is one thing that y'all can connect to because remember in January, at the beginning of January, it snowed. And most of us saw the snow, right? And so let me go ahead and share this poster really fast so we can get to our story. So remember, our words are content area words. So content area words, you will find them in informational text, which means those are the material that we read to learn from, right? They teach us things and they tell us about things that often use words from science and social studies to tell about a topic. So some things that it says, how can I figure out what these words mean? Well, what we can do is learn from the titles and headings. And it says, look at the text features like titles and headings, because those are the first things that are going to tell you what the main idea may be about, right? And then we also look at our pictures. That's probably the first thing we look at is pictures, because we like to see real life stuff, right? So look at pictures. We can also ask and answer questions throughout our reading. And then lastly, use context or words and sentences to hear or to see what the word means. You use basically what it's called context clues to kind of help you understand those bolded words, maybe those vocabulary words that you've never heard of, right? All right, with that, I am going to go ahead and show the story for today. And so the story for today is called The Story of Snow, The Science of Winter's Wonder. So this is really cool. So we're going to learn let's see, what are some predictions about this, the story of snow? What do you think this story might be about? Isabella Bright, what do you think this story might be about?
About snow and what is the white things?
The snowflakes, right?
You never know if it's different
Yeah,
particles or
yeah. What else?
or you can see if any of the snow has something like if there's like an animal forming, like if there was let's say a bug was hibernating and you messed with it on accident in the snow. You didn't mean to, and you put it in a water bottle. It's maybe that the bug can maybe come alive.
Do you probably see its home of maybe where it was hibernating in the snow? Yeah, because there's a lot of animals. Yeah, you're right, Bella. There's a lot of animals that hibernate in the snow, like rabbits, right? We can find rabbit holes and foxes that live in their little holes. So that's pretty interesting that you brought this up. So maybe that we'll get to learn how the snow affects the environment, right, of where the animals live. All right, so let's go ahead and see if Miss Bella's prediction is right. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to the story of snow.
Our story starts on a winter day, high up in the sky, in a cloud that is very, very cold. This is the story of snow. Clouds are mostly made of air, which we can't see. Then there is water vapor, water in the form of a gas, which we also can't see. We do see the billions of tiny droplets of liquid water and ice crystals that float in the cloud. They reflect light, making the cloud visible. Snow begins with a speck. Clouds are mostly made of air and water, but there are also bits of other things, like tiny particles of dirt, ash, and salt. Even living bacteria can float in the wind and end up in a cloud. A snow crystal needs one of these specks to start growing. These specks are all much smaller than the eye can see, but if you could see them, ash or soot from a volcano or fire, grain of pollen from a flower, salt left over from ocean water that evaporates, particle of soil, bacteria from plant leaves. The speck becomes the center of a snow crystal. When a speck gets cold enough, water vapor will stick to it. If you had a microscope that could see such small things, here is what you would see. Water vapor sticks to the cold speck, making the speck wet. More water vapor sticks to the wet speck, forming a water droplet. The droplet freezes into a ball of ice. More water vapor sticks to the ball of ice and it grows into a hexagon-shaped ice crystal. Water vapor continues to stick to the crystal. Faster growth on the corners causes 6 branches to sprout. The branches keep growing, sprouting little arms of their own. And a beautiful snow crystal is born. These photographs of real snow crystals are shown much larger than their actual size. The crystals were collected during many different snowfalls. Actual size.
I find these really interesting. How many of y'all raise your hand like the real life pictures of the snowflakes? Do you see how they're different? So it doesn't matter if it snows or not, but it has different shapes of ice crystal that form. That's really cool.
A snow crystal forms as it falls. As the snow crystal gets bigger and heavier, it starts to fall to Earth. It keeps growing as it falls through its cloud, taking on its own special shape. The shape depends on how wet the cloud is and how cold it is. A snow crystal can start to grow one way, but then grow another way when it passes through a wetter or colder part of its cloud. The crystal stops growing soon after falling below the clouds. Snow crystals can be stars. One common snow crystal shape is the star. Star-shaped snow crystals usually have 6 arms reaching out from a center point. The center point is the home of the speck that started the crystal. The 6 arms look alike, but they are almost never exactly alike. Parts of a snow crystal can break during the fall to Earth, causing the arms to look different. Star-shaped snow crystals are called dendrites, which means tree-like. They form when a cloud is full of moisture and when the temperature hovers around 5 degrees Fahrenheit, -15 degrees Celsius. This is the simplest kind of plate crystal, a hexagon. Plates form when there's not enough moisture in the cloud for stars to form, and when the temperature conditions are a few degrees warmer or colder than the temperature range that stars require.
So the second page, you probably are the ones that you saw fall from the sky when it snowed in January, because it wasn't that cold for the snow to stick. So these are probably the snowflakes that we probably saw in the sky, that fell from the sky when it snowed in Ferris.
Snow crystals can be plates. Plate crystals are thin like star crystals, but they don't have arms. The simplest kind of plate is a hexagon with 6 straight sides. More complicated plates have points where arms almost grew. Simple plate crystals are much smaller than stars. They can be as wide as 1 millimeter, but they're usually a lot smaller. Actual size. The points on this plate crystal are the beginnings of arms that were just starting to develop when the crystal fell out of its cloud and stopped growing. Snow crystals can also be columns. Column-shaped snow crystals are shaped like pencils. They're not flat like stars and plates. Columns can form high in the clouds and at very cold temperatures. They are very tiny, and when they fall, they make for very slippery snow. Actual size. Column crystals are very tiny, usually no longer than ½ millimeter. A column has 6 sides. These are the 3 types. Solid column. These are the smallest type of column. Hollow column. These are longer and more common than solid columns. Capped column. The caps on each end of these columns can be plate crystals or star crystals. Capped columns like this one develop when a column crystal moves into a part of its cloud where the temperature is right for plates or stars to grow at the ends. The 2 end caps can grow to different sizes, as you can see here. If you think of a star crystal as a clock, the arms of the star crystal can point to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 o'clock. Only those times.
So the column crystal that they were explaining in the previous page, these are real pictures of those column crystal snowflakes that's probably we might have seen too in our snow.
Six is the magic number for snow crystals. This is because of the nature of water. Water molecules, the smallest units of water, attach themselves into groups of 6, which usually leads to crystals with 6 arms or 6 sides. A perfect star or plate snow crystal has 6-fold symmetry. That means if you divided the crystal into 6 pie wedges, each pie wedge would have the same shape. Water molecules attach to each other in 6-sided rings, like 6 kids holding hands. When many of these hexagonal rings are joined together, a larger hexagonal crystal is formed. Snow crystals are rarely perfect. So much can happen during a snow crystal's fall to Earth, it is rare that one will turn out perfectly. If a droplet of water passes close to one arm of a snow crystal, that arm can start to grow faster. Before long, that one arm will be a lot longer than the others. A snow crystal can be a twin. A snow crystal can have 12 arms. This is a twin crystal, which happens when 2 crystals start from the original speck and form on top of each other. A snow crystal can have bumps. If there are enough water droplets near the crystal, some can strike the crystal and freeze on contact. This gives the crystal little bumps called rime. Many snow crystals make one snowflake. Often, snow crystals bump into each other and get stuck together. When this happens, snowflakes form. Hundreds or even thousands of snow crystals can be found in a single snowflake. 2 snow crystals stuck together. Snowflakes we see falling from the sky are usually clumps of snow crystals like these. Individual crystals, which are sometimes also called snowflakes, can fall on their own, but they are much smaller and harder to see. Once a snow crystal lands, it starts to wither away. Snow crystals can't keep growing after they fall from the clouds, and when a crystal stops growing, it immediately starts to wither. Soon, the arms of the crystal break down and the crystal's shape becomes rounded. This means that if you want to see a snow crystal, you need to catch it in the air or find it very soon after it lands. When they're not in the clouds, surrounded by the water vapor they need to grow, snow crystals quickly start to erode. Try catching one on your sleeve or glove to see the crystal structure at its best.
Why does the reader say that we may need to catch it in our sleeve instead of our hand? What might happen to that snow crystal? Clinton?
It's going to melt.
It's going to melt. You're absolutely right. So the best way to see a crystal may be if you have gloves on, the cloth on it creates that barrier where it doesn't have the snowflake doesn't melt fast. So you're able to see the structure of the snowflake when you catch it either on your sleeve or on your palm of your hand if it has a glove on. Clinton?
I caught a leaf with my gloves.
You did? That's cool. So give me a raise of your hand if you've ever caught a snowflake when it snowed this past January. If you caught a snowflake. Yeah.
I don't know if I did.
You don't know if you did?
Miss Wellington, I caught
Yeah.
snowflakes in my mouth.
Yeah, but they melt faster. You won't be able to see the structure, right? That's awesome.
Miss Wellington, I caught snowflakes in my mouth.
Yeah, you do. So it turns into water, right? It turns really water and then it goes away. Yeah. Clinton?
I catch snowflakes and then I put snowflakes on top of it. So
Oh,
they
you do put it on top so they melt together. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and keep reading.
Are no two snow crystals alike? Some simple plate crystals may appear exactly alike, as seen through a high-quality microscope. When it comes to more complicated snow crystals, though, odds are that no two are exactly alike. But then, no two leaves, flowers, or people are exactly alike either. Snow crystals are like us. We're each different, but we have a lot in common. How to catch your own snow crystals. Get ready. Get these things ready so you have them the next time it snows. A piece of dark cardboard or foam core board. It should be about the size of this book. Make sure that the cardboard is stiff enough to stay flat when you hold it by one edge. A magnifying glass so you can see the snow crystals better. Now, wait until it snows. During a snowfall. 1. Put the cardboard or foam core outside for at least 10 minutes before catching snow. It needs to be cold, or else the snow will melt right after landing. Make sure the board stays cold and dry. 2. Gripping the board by one edge, hold the board out flat and watch as the snow lands on it. If it is snowing hard, step under a porch roof or some other shelter so less snow falls on the board. Otherwise, the board will fill up with snow. 3. Look at the smaller bits of snow that land on the board. This is where you will find the individual snow crystals. Use the magnifying glass to look at them closely. 4. Once you have looked at the snow, shake off the board and try again. In the right kind of snowstorm, you should be able to see many individual snow crystals. Snow catching tips. Make sure it's cold enough. If the snow melts when it hits the board, or if rain is mixed with the snow, the temperature is probably too warm. Look for tiny snow crystals, not big snowflakes. Remember, snowflakes are lots of snow crystals clumped together. Sometimes the snow is all broken up and looks like a light powder. Not every snowfall has unbroken snow crystals. If the snow just isn't right, don't give up. Try again another snowy day. Or wait until you go on a ski trip. A snow crystal is a letter from the sky. Ukichiro Nakaya, Japanese scientist, 1900 to 1962.
All right, guys, that was pretty fun. Miss Wellington really liked this one. This is probably my favorite one so far for the weather unit, when we actually got to see some snow crystals. And at the end, next time if it snows, what do you think you're going to need to catch those snowflakes? What are you going to need? There were two things that the lady said that you needed. Maddox?
A board and a magnifying glass.
Perfect. And if you don't have those, what else could you use that you have already on you to catch a snowflake?
A plate.
Maybe a plate, or remember your sleeve
A coat.
or your glove. Yeah, so if you don't have either of those, you can definitely catch a snowflake with your sleeve or your glove. All right.
Miss Sterling?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who had a question? Melanie, did you have a question?
Yeah, can I tell you something? It's not a question. I just have to tell you something.
Oh, yes, ma'am. What do you have to tell me?
One of the snowflakes are different.
One of the snowflakes are different?
Yeah, and my mom told me that she caught one on her hand.
Oh, that's
And
cool. And what'd she do?
she saw it, but it's when she was little.
Oh, well, hey, snowflakes, just like because it doesn't snow a lot in Texas, Melanie. So it's a memory that will stay with you forever. Yeah, so your mom even
Yeah,
remembers it now.
and I caught one on my tongue before.
You have that it was really cold. So when Miss Fullington went to Red River, New Mexico to go skiing, they had snowflakes so big that it was so hard for Miss Fullington to breathe. So she had to cover her face with her scarf in order for me to walk in the snow. But just like the book said, that it had clusters of snowflakes, and the clusters of snowflakes were that big. They were huge. And then by the time Miss Fullington got underneath the pavilion or shelter to get away from the snow, I was wet. My hair was soaking wet. It felt like rain fell on me. It was so bad. It was very different. But it's, you see how we have all these personal connections to these stories with snowflakes. Landon, did you want to share one?
I went to Red River too.
You did. Don't you love it? Yeah, we got to see a lot of elk. So a lot of deer. So Red River is in the middle of the mountains. And so the elk or deer, like huge deer, come down from the mountains and you actually get to feed them out of your hand. It's really cool. It's really different, but it's really cool. Clinton?
One time whenever we were walking back from my grandpa's house,
Mm-hmm.
a deer was in the way where it snowed. It stayed at the headlight, so we honked and then it wouldn't move.
Uh-huh.
So we got out and we had dog food. We put it in its face and then we led it back in the forest and then we got to drive away.
Oh, that's good. So you safely put the deer back where it needed to be belong. That's cool. These are really cool experiences. All right, so Miss Fullington is going to go ahead and show you in Seesaw what you're going to do for me. Let me go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you can see our Seesaw page. Oops. Click the button. There we go. Give it just a second. There we go. All right, give me a thumbs up if you can see our Seesaw page. Awesome. All right, so in Seesaw, we're going to go under Activities. And then right here at the bottom, it has Monday, February 1st, spelling and high frequency words. So it says read the instructions for both or 2 pages and complete the assignment. So Miss Fullington's going to go ahead and act like a student. I'm going to add a response. And then I have this first page. So I have the word bank right here, and these are our new high frequency words that we said today. And you're going to put them in the correct blank on the line to make sure it's correct, the correct sentence with it. So let's do number 1. It says, it is time for a puppet show. Let's see. It is time for a puppet show. Now, maybe. Let's see. We'll go ahead and put that there for now. Puppet show now. I think that might be the best one, I think. Let's see. All right. Yep, I think you're right on the now. So what you'll do is you'll cross out now from your list because you're only going to use it once, but you make sure you put it in the fill in the blank, okay? So on the second page, when you're done with all of these, on the second page, you're going to go to the second page, and you have your spelling words. Now, these are our Miss Valenti can't talk. Our review words. And so we will only practice saying them, but we won't use them on the list. And so we are going to use the basic words only. So you're going to use these words and you're going to sort them with words with k, which is the K sound, or the C sound, the k sound. Words with the S sound, so that means that the S sound. And then words with the G sound and words with the J sound. So there's going to be some that have the J sound that look like a G, but sounds like a J. So it's the sneaky G. So the G sounds like a J sound when you say it. And so you'll go ahead and put that word underneath this sound right here. Okay. So when you're finished, you're going to press the green check mark. After you're done with both activities in Seesaw, you're going to go ahead and do your cursive writing journal. So you might want to go ahead and get your cursive writing journal out. And you're only going to do one letter today. And when you are finished, you're going to go ahead and go to your reading stations. Okay. So I'm not sure if we changed those yet, but if someone would like to help Mrs. Garcia and tell her where she can change the numbers, you can let her know that. And then once you're done with that, you may go into your stations, guys, okay? All right. Does anybody have any questions for our Seesaw assignment? All right. You may log out and go ahead and go into Seesaw, okay, guys? We will see you later. Bye. Maddox or Bella Bright, do you have any questions? Are you okay, sweetie? All right. So Maddox, if you don't have any questions, you can log out too. Okay. Bye, Bella.